Alright guys, welcome back for this new video. Very exciting to be back. Sorry for this week without uploads, but I was traveling a lot. But we're back at it today with a new project where we are going to create an air quality indicator using Flutter and using HTTP. We're going to use an API for that. And I know there is a package that does just that, but the goal really with today's video is to show you how you can request data from an API using HTTP package. So before we jump into it, I would love you to subscribe. We are closing in on the 1,000 subscribers mark. I'll probably do a live for celebrating the 1,000 subscribers. Well, you guys will get to ask me all of the questions that you want, and I'll try to answer it my best. So yeah, subscribe. That really goes a long way. And like this video if it helps you in any way, shape, or form. So before we jump into the code, that's the app. I will not go through the entire code of this indicator. I've built it myself. You'll find the link of the GitHub in the description or the first comment pinned up. You can use it. It's my little gift to you guys if you want to use this kind of indicator. It's basically math, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So I have here a project running, and you'd see that's the app that we are going for. So before I'm showing you what kind of API we're building, let's go ahead and build this project up. It's really just a dumb Flutter project right here that I've just created. So while that's running, let's take a look of the API we're using today. So we're using the AQI-CN API, okay? And this API is pretty cool, it's free. So what you want to do first is get a token. So if you navigate to this URL right here, aqicn.org/API, you'll be redirected to this page. And here you would want to click on data platform token, okay? And here agree with the terms, put your email, a name, submit that, you'll receive an email that you need to click on the link, and then you will have your token that you will use in the request that we'll make to the API. So this API is pretty cool. It's super like full of different kind of stuff that you can use and all this. We're just gonna go super simple for this project. And you've seen that we're not gonna use block because I wanna show you how to use a future builder in this project, but that could work very good for block as well. I mean, block is pretty much good for anything. So you see right here, we have this AQI parameter that we're looking for. If you actually go back here, you'll see that you have, if you scroll down, the JSON API that we're using, that kind of response that we have. So we have the stages right here, but under that we have the data. And under data, we have this AQI, which is basically a number that is between 0 and 300 and plus. And this number is going to be, well, what your quality of air is like at the current location that you are with the time and the city that you're in, okay? And we are going to go super simple. From this API on this little project, we're just going to get the AQI as well as the city name. But we are as well gonna get the coordinate of your phone programmatically, okay? So that's very simple. If you want, they give some prediction of the future forecast for the air quality. So you can as well go ahead and use that, but we're gonna keep it super simple. So yeah, that's what I was talking about right here. So the AQI is a number that is between 0 and 50, means the level is good and the air quality is considered satisfactory and air pollution poses little to no risk. And we're basically going to utilize all this in order to move the needle from our indicator right here. So from 0 to 300, right? The icon is going to change as well. And the message here is only the message that you find on the API. Here is this one every time. Okay. So let's go ahead and start building this thing. So what you want to do here on the main.dart is actually add some little tweaks to it. So before we modify this main.dart, I want to, under the lib folder, create a new folder that we'll call data. So I know in all of my videos, I've often if not always, use this clean architecture model where I'm creating a new package, where I'm doing my class and all the backend stuff right there. I highly recommend you to do that. For this video, I'm gonna keep it super simple so it's easier for you to understand it, but definitely implement this into a full-on clean architecture model. So under this data, I want to create 3 files. I want to create an air quality.dart file. I want to create a API key.dart file, as well as I'm going to call it fetch data.dart. Okay. So those 3 files are basically the backend that we're going to use, right? So here for the API key, I want to create a string, okay? And I want to name that string API key. And here you are just going to paste the API key that you have from your request from the API, your API key right here. Okay, so here on this string, you're just going to paste the one that you've got from the website by doing this fill up form right there. Okay, so you're going to put your API key here. So that's pretty much done for the API key file. Fetch data. So fetch data, before that, we're going to do the air quality class, okay? So that's going to be a pretty straightforward class that we're going to call air quality, okay? And nothing fancy here, just an integer that's going to be the AQI. Remember, the number that's going to tell us what kind of air quality we're having. We're as well going to store the city name, okay? The city name, pretty good. And now we want to as well have those two strings, sorry, which is going to be the message and the emoji, sorry, emoji ref. Okay, so I've put those two parameters potentially null. Why? Because those two parameters right here at the top, they're coming from the API, right? So we need them. And those, they're not coming from the API. So when we're using the factoid constructor from JSON, we're going to need those things. So let me just create the constructor right here, up. And that's pretty much it, except I don't know how to type emoji ref right here. So now let's create the from JSON method, okay? Just under that, let's create the from JSON method. So it's really simple. It's a factory constructor that takes a map, right? A JSON is a map, okay? And returns an air quality object, okay? And here we are accessing our AQI parameter like this, because if you go back to the documentation right there, you'd see that we have a map, okay, here and here. That's our body from our call. And under that, we have a field that's called data. Okay, if we navigate to the code, the first field that's called data, this one. And then under this field, we have another field from this map, because data is a map, okay, that is called AQI. And we access this AQI right here, okay? And same kind of process for getting the city name, okay? Navigate back to the documentation. Under data, we have another parameter that's called city, okay? And under this city map, we have a name parameter, and that's exactly what we're doing in the code: JSON, data, city, and name, okay? And we do that as a string. That's pretty much it. We can add a two-string method as well. So we have air quality, AQI, city name, message, and emoji ref right here. So that's it for the air quality class. Here I'm not creating a two JSON method because we don't need to put the data anywhere. But let's say you want to store this data as well in your Firestore project. Well, you could create a two JSON method. And again, every time that you've seen me build something, I've always separated the class, the air quality, with another class that would be an air quality entity, where I will have those methods inside the air quality entity. Here I'm keeping it really, really simple for beginners. But if your level is higher up, don't hesitate to make it cleaner. So air quality.dart is done. Now let's create the fetch data. But to create the fetch data, we're gonna need two packages, okay? So if I navigate to the web, here I have them prepared. We need the geolocator, right? Because we need to get the coordinates of your phone to display the right information for the air quality. And we as well need the HTTP package. It's pretty much what we want to use today. So let's import those two packages into our puspec.yaml file under dependencies. So I'll import HTTP and geolocator. So there is a little configuration for the geolocator package, especially if you're using iOS, but there is as well if you're using Android. So I recommend you to read a little bit the documentation from the geolocator package in order for you to configure it as needed for your specific platform. But here, since I am doing this on iOS, I'll navigate to iOS, runner, and info.playlist, and I'll navigate to the very bottom of it and paste those stuff. And this is basically the message that's going to be displayed when you ask the user the location, right? So you need this message right here. And so I'm going to close my app and actually rebuild it. Because if I don't do that, because I'm modifying those files inside the iOS, every time you're modifying files inside the iOS or inside your Android folder, you want to close your app and rebuild it, because otherwise it's just not going to work. So that's done. That's done. So if we navigate to the geolocator package, you'd see here that you have all of the different usage for Android and what you need to add here in your iOS project, right? So it's very just a matter of following those steps, and it's really simple, right? You just follow those steps and you'll get to it. But for iOS, that's pretty much what you have to do. For HTTP, you don't need anything. So let's create the fetch data, okay? So here we are gonna create a method that will require us to say that it's gonna be a future and return us air quality, right? And we're gonna call that method fetch data. Sounds like a good name. Doesn't take any parameter. You'll see why. And it's asynchronous because basically it's what I've said. It's just a matter of waiting for the response. So here, every time you've seen me build that a lot of different times, if there is a problem, I want to lock that to string and rethrow the error right there. It imported math. I don't want to import math. I want to import developer. Yep. Okay. And now in this method, the third thing that we'll do is get the coordinates of the user. Okay, so if you navigate to the geolocator package, you'd see that they make it very clear for you what you have to do. Basically, this entire method, and we've actually done that previously in the weather app, right? It's exactly what you need to do in order to request the location access from the phone. So that's pretty much, we're going to copy that and paste that and basically use that later on. So up here inside my try, I'm already pasting everything. So it's not happy because I need to import geolocator, okay? But that's the first thing that we're doing, okay? We're requesting permission for getting the location of the user. And sorry, because I forgot a little part of it here. Up, perfect. And once all of those requests for the permission is done, I will just here get a new position object, okay, that is gonna get the current position of the phone, of you, where you are, okay? So that's pretty much done for the position, okay? And now onto the real core of why we are here today is for the HTTP package, okay? So the HTTP package is really, really straightforward. Like you're gonna have a URL, right? So here I have I have my URL. So the URL, you might believe, well, it's a string, right? Well, the HTTP package, since a few version now, is working with URI, okay? So you need to actually parse your string onto a URI object that will be used later on to get the response, okay? So we are getting this. I'm going to explain it to you, and then you're getting that, okay? So here I need to import the HTTP package up at the very top. So here you also have here in Flutter the possibility to create as HTTP, and every time that you will be using this package, you will use HTTP dot, exactly like here, get method. Okay, it's sometimes it's confusing if you have a lot of different packages. You want to actually get the right method from the right package. By doing that, you will always. So what are we doing right here? Perhaps I can collapse that so you see more. So we are creating a new variable that we're calling URL. Okay, this URL is the URL from our weather air quality API. Okay, that's the thing that we want. Okay, then you have a parameter from this API that allows you to send coordinates, okay, latitude and longitude, for a specific request from a place. So it's here. I'm getting the geolocation from my phone. So position, which is the one that we just had, okay, latitude and longitude, okay, right here. And then I finish off by giving the token that I have. And here I need to import API key.dart that we've created earlier on, right, with your API stored inside. And this, then, the response is going to be a future, and we're going to access the get, okay, method from the HTTP package and give it the URL that we have, which is a URI. Okay, you see here, it's a URI and not a string. That's why it's important that it's not just only a string. So here you have from the HTTP a get method, but you also have a post method if you want to post something to a specific API. And well, right now, we're just going to say, well, if the response from our get method dot status code is equal to 200, so the status code is basically like when you do a get method or any method from HTTP, you get a code which is an integer, right? And that's going to correspond to either it's all good or something went wrong. So for instance, if you have a 200, that means the request went super good. We have the data that we were expecting. If you have a 400, well, something bad went wrong. If you have a 500, there is the server that is down, and you can then like redirect a good message onto the app depending on the type of message. So now what we want to do, we want to say air quality. We want to create a new object, okay? And that's going to be air quality dot from JSON, okay? And here the from JSON method, if you say, because you might just believe that, right, okay, so from JSON, it's going to be then response dot body, okay? The body of the request that we just did, okay? But that's not possible because the body is a string, okay? So that's just how it works. It just returns you a big string. What you want to do here in order to have a map that is usable in your code is to use JSON decode method, all right? And pass into this JSON decode method your body as a string. This JSON decode is from Dart convert package, okay, and takes a string as a source and will definitely return a map that you can then use on your from JSON method. So we have our air quality object. That's pretty cool. And remember, in our air quality class, we had two parameters, right? We had I can pop it. We have the message and emoji ref, which are independent from the API, but that we still need to feed in order to display the right thing on the app. So we're just gonna have a big if statement right here, okay? And I'm just gonna copy the first part of the loop. And here, what do we have? We say that if the air quality.aqi, remember the integer that tells us where our air quality is at, is superior or equal to 0 and the air quality.aqi is below or equal to 50, we want to return the first emoji, okay? So the one.png, and we as well want to display the message, this message, air quality is considered, and blah, blah, blah. And this message is from our here, okay? It's this one because it's good, okay? And the emoji ref is here onto our folder that we're going to create now. That's called assets here. And under assets, I want to import those emojis up right here. One, that's everything is perfect. Two, well, I don't know. Three, four, oh goddamn. Five, you're gonna die. Six, you're dead. I thought they were fitting pretty good. And while we're at it, I'm as well gonna import the background that we're gonna use in the app. Pretty cool, right? Yeah. So since we are doing the assets right now, I know I'm jumping a bit from every places, but here in your prospect.yaml file, you actually need to say assets and tell it that it's gonna be right here in under assets. That's mandatory if you want to be able to use those stuff. So you can go ahead and close that. And here, so that's pretty much what you have for the message between 0 and 50. And as you saw, there is actually messages up until 300. So I'm gonna just copy that and paste that. And collapse this so you can have a better view, but it's pretty much retaking everything and doing it up until 300. Okay, so it's like if it's between 0 and 50, we've seen that. If it's between 51 and 100, it's the second one with another message. If it's between 101 and 150, well, it's the 3. And remember, if you want to have the details of the strings, they're here into the website, AQICN website. So it's basically just those message here in the middle. Okay, so that's pretty good. That's almost done. So now what we want to do is just, return our air quality object, basically. And that's pretty much it, right? That's pretty much it. And here we want to perhaps say return null, so it doesn't shows that it doesn't return something, but basically we're always going to be inside this loop. And you can save that, and just like that, you have created the call for this API using the HTTP package, which is pretty cool because now we're requesting the air quality from the place that your phone is at. But imagine all sorts of different APIs and all sorts of data that you can collect from several APIs and feed up your classes and then have a very useful app. Imagine perhaps we can create a fitness app that links to, I don't know, a Google Fit or Apple Fit API and have those kind of data. Using packages is always doing this. When you're using packages on the pub.dev website and they are fetching some kind of data, in the end, they are making call to the API by doing something like this. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the backend. Okay, so now we can go ahead and start building the UI itself, right? What do you say? So under the lib folder, under the lib folder, we have, so then the main.dart, okay? And here, that's what we want to do. And that's why I didn't want to integrate another block here, because you've seen it a lot. I'm going to build a lot more using the block, okay? But I thought it might be a good idea for you guys to know this future builder. So you want to wrap your body with not a builder, but with a future builder, okay? And this future builder takes a future parameter, okay, which is basically, if you look at it, just a future. It's just going to wait for some kind of future. And here our future is our fetch data method, right? I'm going to have to move this constant away, but it's basically our fetch method that we've just created. So that's exactly what it is. And here inside the builder, it doesn't only take a context, but it also takes a snapshot, okay? You can see here, asynchronous snapshot of type air quality makes sense. How does he know that? Because here our future is actually returning an air quality. So that's exactly what we want. And so inside our builder, we want to say that if our snapshot has data, okay, so the API call that we've made is back and back good, we want to say that we want to return home screen. We'll create that in just a second. And if not, we want to return center child circular progress indicator. And you can no problem here make it clearly more and delete that. And you can clearly here make it more specific, right? Like, okay, if there is this type of error, I want to return this type of screen with the error displayed right and all this. That's very fair. But here, our home screen, it's the next step. So under the lib folder, I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to call it homescreen.dart. Okay. And this homescreen.dart is actually going to be a stateless widget. Okay. Home screen. And it's going to take a parameter. And I'm going to give you 2 seconds to guess what it is. Yeah, it's the air quality parameter. So it's the air quality like this, and I want to put that inside the constructor as well. Okay, just like that. You can delete foundation, no need. So just like that, we have our we have our home screen. Well, it doesn't really display anything right now because we need to import that right here. And here you'll see that inside the home screen, I need to give it the air quality parameter. And where is it? It's inside our snapshot.data. And here it's going to tell you, but that's potentially null. So you just go ahead and do that. And that's the null safety that's away. If I save it, you'll see that we're going to have an error. And I hope that you will know why. So if we save that, perfect. We have our, let's say, our request for the location. I'm going to allow that. And here, oh, we have a problem. We have a problem. Why? Because I didn't put my API key inside here, which is a shame. But what I want to do is I'm going to do it now because I've just let it that right here. So what I'm going to do is just delete this file. Yep. And I'm going to put that file right here up. This API key, that's mine, but that's not really private. So don't use it. Use your own. That'll be better. And now you see in the console, we have an air quality object with the AQI of 24, pretty good at my place, I have to say, the city name, and the message that we have, as well as the right emoji. So from that, let's create the UI, because right now it's just a big cross all across the screen, and that's no good. So let's create the, so first I'm gonna say that app bar, because we've let the scaffold right here, I'm gonna go ahead and create this app bar at the very top right there. Okay. And inside the home screen here, the app bar, sorry, I'm moving fast, but the app bar is very straightforward. It's just background colors that are transparent, okay? An elevation that is 0, a title that is just air quality indicator, okay? And that's pretty much, that's all there is to it, okay? That's all there is to it. Perhaps I want to move stuff a little bit around here because I'd love to work with my scaffold on its own, right? So perhaps here in the home screen, I'll delete the scaffold and I directly return my future builder right there. Yeah, I'll do that. So here in the material app, the home parameter is directly the future builder. And here what you need to do before your center is actually wrap that with a scaffold, because otherwise it's not going to be very happy with you, and give it the body. And that will be pretty much it. So we have stuff a bit separated. Yeah, good, perfect. So here I want to return a scaffold. Yeah, in our home screen. Okay, so let's build the home screen. So the home screen takes a background color, right? So let's put that background color, and I'm gonna say that the body is gonna extend behind the app bar, okay? So that's pretty cool. Then let's take the app bar that we've just created and just put it right there. So it's really just very straightforward, okay? And then let's create the body. So the body is gonna be first up body. We're gonna say that we're gonna have some padding, and I want some padding from the top. So h inset dot only top, and I'm gonna set that to I don't even need that. I don't even need the padding. Sorry guys. Yeah, let's do without the padding. Let's go ahead and straight up do a size box. And this size box is gonna have a height of media query dot of context dot size dot height. That's just getting the height of the current emulator that I have. And under that, I want a child. And this child is gonna be stack. And a stack takes some children. Okay. So the first children that I want to have is actually the background. Okay, the background image. So it's going to be a container that's going to have the height that we've just set, media query.of context.size.height, and it's going to have the width of the phone. So here, let's just copy that and do that. Okay. And then to put the image, I want to access the decoration parameter of our container. And under this decoration, I have an image parameter that is actually a decoration image. Okay. And this decoration image is going to be up an asset image, and the asset is going to be I think I called it asset slash back.png. I think that's what I did. And I want to fit this image, not filter quality, fit dot cover, box fit dot cover. Up. Amazing. Pretty cool. Let's get rid of this little debug type of stuff right here. So up here inside the main.dart and the material app, show checked mod default banner, set that to false. Okay, pretty good. That looks amazing, I have to say. So, because we've put a stack, I want now a backdrop filter over this because this is just too clean for what I want. So let me just take this backdrop filter up. Gonna need to import UI here. Backdrop filter is gonna blur everything. Look, up, everything is blurry now. So if it comes from this filter parameter, because here, look, if I put that to 0, that's gonna be the image itself. And if I put it to 5, the image is blurry. And the more I increment this, if I put 100, that's gonna be super blurry, right? So let's just keep that. And I've actually here not put colors.transparent on our container because I want it to be a little darker so the stuff that we'll put on top will pop a little more, okay? That's pretty much it for our backdrop filter. That's it. So now under that, I want to have some padding, and here I really want it. Not like the first time. Okay, so the padding here is gonna be this one. So let me just take it up. Only top, and I want it to be like the 3 times the cattle bar height, which is the height of an up bar. And I'll explain to you why in just a second, but it comes down in the end all from this half circle, because here you might believe, right, so it's a column, right, that you have right there. But the problem with this half circle is that it's not really a half circle, like it's actually a full-on circle. And if you want to do a column, then all of those stuff, they'll be under this half circle that's nowhere, right? And you don't want that. So you have this half circle, and stack on top of it, we have those things, right? Because this half circle actually extends under our other stuff right here, is just not display. Okay. So, as a child of this padding, let me go up a little bit. What do we want? We want a size box, all the time size box, with the width that's going to be media query dot of context dot size dot width, and the height that is going to be media query dot of context dot size dot height. Perfect. Okay. And as a child of that, we want to stack some stuff again. So stack, remember, children. And here, before our stack, I'm gonna add some padding to everything. Yep. And I'm gonna add some padding of like 25 or something like this, so it looks good. Yep. And here I wanna first call custom paint. Yeah, custom paint. And the size is gonna be size up like this, and actually want it to be a circle. So I'm gonna take the width, and I'm gonna take the width as well. So here you have X and height. Okay, so it's gonna be the same because I want a kind of square, which is gonna turn into a circle later on. And custom paint has a painter inside it. This is the air quality painter. So I'm gonna copy this file that I have, and under the lib folder, paste this painter. So I'm gonna walk you through it very quickly, because if you're not good with math, you're gonna want to kill yourself here. But basically, you have here the border thickness, right? That goes linked into here, okay? But first, perhaps I will just save that, import that, and save that. Okay, so here you have exactly what I've just said to you. So the painter works like this. It takes the AQI, okay? It takes the AQI right here, and is gonna be, the arrow is gonna display between the scale of 0 to 300. Depending on where we are, it's gonna move around, okay? I'll show you moving around later on. But basically you have here, to have the border, you have a half a circle that is white, okay? And on top of that, you have another half circle that goes from the green to the dark brown right here. And the color of the arrow as well changes as the AQI changes around this arc right here. And then it's just a matter of drawing some circles, okay? Getting the circles here with the right paint, the right gradient and all this kind of stuff. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, draw the other circle on top of it. The center as well right here that you have, it's the anchor. Okay, here for instance, if I modify the anchor here to 40, you'd see that it's a bigger anchor. So you can swing around with all of those different parameter, and here comes the cosinus and all this if you want to, when it's going to move around. So I'm pretty happy with how it works. It's gonna be in the GitHub, guys, so I'm showing you how it is now. But yeah, if you want it, just take the file. Perhaps later on I'll make a package for it so you can use it in your apps. But let's just consider it as a little gift from me to you. If you are not so good with math, well, that'll do the trick just fine for you guys. So back to it, okay? So let's just ignore that. If you are all interested in it to see how it works, and we can build it together, but tell me in the comment section if you want to see that, because I have the feeling I'm going to bore a lot of you. So I don't want to do that. So let's just stick to Flutter and not to go too deep into the math aspect of it. So then I want to have an aligned widget, which I'm going to align to bottom center. Okay, that's what I told you earlier on. Bottom center, that's going to have a child that is size box again. Everything's a size box, you're going to tell me, but hey, that's how it is, huh? So the size box is going to be with 400, and the height is going to be media query dot height times 0.5. Okay, and under that I want a child, which is going to be a column. Now it's our column, and a column takes some a children parameter as well. Okay, And so here I want my first item to be the container. Okay. So that's the up, that's the width that it takes, the height. Okay. So half of it, half of our container right there. And it takes a decoration parameter, which is basically the image, the emoji. Okay. And remember, inside our air quality class, we have the emoji reference that is going to be 1.png, 2.png, and the 1.png is this one. Okay. That's exactly what we want. And then the other parameter is going to be another container up that I'm going to paste it. It's very straightforward. That's why I'm just pasting it. And it's basically our message. So here it takes the width as well of 400. The height is a little bit skinnier. The decoration is white that you can see through. Okay, you have those whites, different shade of whites that you have. If I say that, that's going to be too shallow, you won't be able to see anything, but that's actually cool. And it's not white because you can actually see the background behind it. Okay, and as a child parameter of this container, well, I have a text widget that displays the air quality message. Okay, and then it's just some styling for the text itself. And just like that, guys, just like that, we are done with it, completely done with it. If I refresh it, you'll see everything works fine. Perhaps now I'm just going to show you that it actually moves around because you're just going to take my word for it. Perhaps you have a different air quality at your place. I'm very curious. Just tell me in the comment section what AQI score you've got. But how much do I have? Let's see. I have 24 AQI. So how much did you guys had in your country? Tell me in the comments. I'm really curious, actually. So here, perhaps just to make it a point, let's just access the AQI parameter and let's just say that it's, for instance, 60. Save that. And yeah, you see the emoji is changing, the text as well is changing, and the arrow is moving around, right? So here we're between that. So cool. Let's say, for instance, 120. 120 is gonna be, well, he's not happy, but see the arrow is moving around from the scale from 0 to 300, which is pretty cool, and as well change the colors from the inside of it. Let's say 170. 170, yeah, we're changing, so we're jumping every time, right? So now let's say 220. Yeah, works amazing. 220, amazing, as well as perhaps 300. 300, you're dead. Yeah. Okay, well, that works amazing. That works amazing. So I can just delete that part now and just go back to what is actually is. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, for this API video. I hope you liked it. I think it's pretty cool to do the little projects where we really try to focus on one aspect of it. So here, what I really wanted you to understand was this HTTP kind of logic right there, that you have a new URI that you are basically just parsing with the API link, okay, giving some different parameters inside your URL itself, okay, that are dynamic. Here, this is dynamic and this is dynamic, as well as this, and then you're getting the actual call on the API, and depending on the status code, you are fitting some different stuff of your object and returning your object, and on the main.dart file, using a future builder that is just awaiting the future from this page data method, and depending on what he has, returns the home screen or the circular progress indicator. Circular progress indicator, I have data, I show you this, okay? Okay, guys. Well, I hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like this video and tell me your AQI score in the comment section. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.